into this game on the back of a stunning 34-28 win at Lee Centurions. Daryl Cardiff scored a hat-trick in that game, but he is unavailable tonight. It's Ian Priest at full-back for Batley, then John Campbell, Dale Cardoza, Danny Morn, Jermaine McGilvray, Mark Barlow and Paul Mennell, who captains the side. Then in the forwards, it's Jack Watson, John Gallagher, Luke Stenchen, Craig Potter, Nathan Armitage and Mark Toohey, who returns to the side. On the bench, recall for Ashley Lindsay, John Simpson, George Flanagan and David Tootle, and the coach is Gary Thornton, one of the longest serving in the business. This is 151st game in charge at Batley. The Gateshead Thunder side with Kevin Neighbour at fullback, then it's Robin Pearce, Ben McAlpine, Dylan Nash, Stuart Sanderson, Neil Thorman and Luke Brannigan. And in the forwards, Jason Payne, Andrew Henderson, who captains the side, Tabua Thaka, Rhys Clark, Michael Knowles and Jamie Russo. And on the bench, Ryan Clark, Chris Parker, Ryan McBride and Johnny Walker. And the coach, his first season in charge, is Chris Hood. So a breezy night here at Mount Pleasant, a chilly night as well, as the two sides take the field side by side, as will be the case at all games this weekend. And Gateshead Thunder come here looking to get off the mark this season. 2 defeats so far. Whitehaven and Barrow have beaten them. And Lee Centurions, as I said, going into this game on the back of a 34-28 win. So Batley winning 34-28 at Lee. There is Chris Hood. And if Chris is looking a bit weary, it's because his 9-month-old son Ellis has been playing up a bit lately, and I don't think Chris had any sleep going into this game. Gary Thornton, on the other hand, looks very calm and collected, and hoping that his side can continue the good form that they showed on Sunday. Dave Merrick is the referee in charge tonight, and the minute's silence now in memory of young Leon Walker, of course, the 20-year-old Wakefield reserve player who collapsed and died during that game against Celtic Crusader reserves at Maesteg last Sunday. And Leon, in fact, was an England and Yorkshire academy player, and he played for England and Yorkshire on this very pitch. Liam Walker remembered here at Batley, and he'll be remembered throughout the game this weekend.
Neil, which way are you going, mate?
So it'll be Gateshead Thunder who'll kick this game off, and they have elected to play downfield, and they will have the wind at their back, and that's some advantage, isn't it?
Bill, they'll be looking to keep him in this bottom corner. It's a 10-foot gap from the bottom to the top, the height difference. And this Gateshead side are really big, and there's some imposing plays. Dylan Nash is a guy to look out for. He's playing centre tonight. He's got the number 4 on. He's the real impact player for the Gateshead Thunder.
Neil Thorman getting the game underway, and Batley with first touch. And Campbell running that ball back for the Bulldogs. Well, they will be full of confidence because they pulled off that win at Lee on Sunday, and that surprised a lot of people, didn't it, Barry?
Yeah, I think if you look at this Batley side throughout the ranks, it's just good, hard-working, honest players. That's what Gary Thornton requires of his players. We're talking about Gateshead, of course, they're new into this division and relatively new into our game. Batley are one of the oldest teams around, so a fascinating game in prospect. Tez was actually telling me, talking to Gary Thornton, he prefers to play downhill first and then up in the second half. So things not going right for him so far.
Well, the kick hanging in the wind, and Kevin Neighbour at full-back for Gateshead. Time to collect that ball as it hung in the air, and Gateshead have it back on the halfway line. So it's some advantage, the wind at their backs, and they'll be hoping to make it tell. Here is Andrew Henderson, and there is big Thaka, the big Fijian prop forward. And now Thorman, and Thorman past the first line of defence, easily stepped away from Craig Potter there, but then he's brought down. Henderson. Here's Michael Knowles now. 4 tackles gone.
Go.
Henderson, a big close season signing for this Gateshead Thunder side, of course, from the Castleford Tigers, a Scottish international, and a crucial player for them on and off the field, doing a lot for them off it as well. And the kick is hoisted by Luke Brannigan, and they'll get another set of 6.
That's a perfect kick, Bill. Just what they wanted. Put that ball in the corner, just far enough away from the line to make the winger play for it. Unfortunately, caught it in the field of play and was tackled behind it.
Jermaine McGilvray on loan from the Giants, Huddersfield Giants, and that dropout not getting any great distance, and Thorman gives it to Thaka, and he gets it away. It's Jason Payne now. Once a Scarborough Pirate, Jason Payne, before he moved on to the Castleford Tigers. And now Thunder on the charge with Jamie Russo, the loose forward. Russo will play the ball.
He pushed him again.
They've got the penalty, in fact, a shove there from Batley as Russo got to his feet.
Interference at the play of the ball. Wouldn't let the Gateshead player get up. Penalty awarded by Dave Medic, and Gateshead going for the 2 points. They've had all the field position and just the discipline. The Batley side have got to get that ball further upfield. There's no point kicking it high in the air because the wind's so strong. Got to kick it low and try and turn them around.
I'm not sure I would have gone for goal on there. I think they've had the ball a lot. I think Batley have defended. I think I would have chose to keep that pressure on, but nevertheless, Gateshead choosing to slow the game down just a little bit. Thaka, worryingly for the Batley team, has got 2 big runs and 2 offloads away. Jason Payne, the young front rower in number 8 for Gateshead. Me and Tez very impressed with him the last time we watched.
But Michael Knowles has already kicked 15 goals this season, and this one to open his side's account here at Mount Pleasant. And Gateshead ahead by 2 points to 0. And there is the Thunder coach, who took over from Dave Woods after he left at the end of last season, and a former player himself for the Gateshead club. Gary Thornton, a very experienced campaigner by contrast.
Let's have a ball.
So Gateshead in possession. Here goes Jason Payne on the charge. That's a good run from the prop forward. Really hit that ball and made some good yards.
Won't like that, getting his kench out though. That's the last thing a prop forward wants, his shirt riding up like that.
Thaka. This time he doesn't make so much progress. Henderson pops that ball up. Oof, Clark slipping as he took that tackle. And Henderson goes himself. He needed somebody on his shoulder there. Russo got there a bit late, but here goes Jamie Russo. Across the field they go. Referee says play on. Tackle wasn't completed. They come back in field with Sanderson. That's the 5th tackle.
10 metres.
They're running it, but the ball's been knocked on, and that'll be the turnover.
That's a confident start, that. The first 4.5 minutes has been really confident for Gateshead. It's all been Gateshead. They're not scared of throwing this ball around, and just a real big start from them. And you can't see it at the minute, this Batley side getting into the game, because they're not kicking well, and they're just not making the inroads. They've got to start dominating in defence.
They need to get out of their own half, first of all. People like Andrew Henderson on a rolling ruck, on a quick play of the ball, they'll just expose that all day.
Batley playing up the hill here, into the wind. There's the run from Jack Watson, a local amateur who's in his 3rd season at the club, plays the ball on the 40-metre line. Now big Craig Potter, and Potter, a strong run from him. 4 tackles gone. And for the first time, they're over the halfway line, and Gateshead are offside, they'll get the penalty as well.
Now let's see what Batley can do. When they get the ball up in the Gateshead half, let's see what Batley can do, Gateshead can do when they're defending their own line.
Well, they're running this ball and they could be away down this right-hand side with Campbell, and Campbell is eventually brought down, but the first attack from Batley is a threatening one. Now here's Dale Cardoza. Cardoza is all wrapped up though. But the Gateshead defence for the first time in this game is being tested. Just about 5 metres away from that Thunder try line. They're coming from deep here with Paul Mennell. Mennell, the captain, takes them on. 3 tackles gone.
Go.
The ball goes out to the left. It's with Ian Priest. Priest is tackled.
Hold 2 feet. Go.
Good defence from Gateshead here so far. The ball with Gallagher.
5, move, play it back.
Tui plays the ball.
We'll go it.
Here's Potter, and Potter trying to use his strength. His strength is met by that of Gateshead, and that'll be the turnover. That's good defence from the Gateshead Thunder side.
It is good defence. All the questions were asked from the Batley side, but Paul Mennell, a real go-to player. Last week against the Lee side, Gary Thornton had a lot of joy down that left-hand side. There was Danny Morn, who was the big go-to player. He's the one, him and Paul Mennell, look for them linking up as Gateshead start to get tired.
Watson in very quickly to make the tackle there for Batley, looking to pin Gateshead down in their own territory. You've got to fancy your chances at a 40-20 kick in these sort of conditions. The Gateshead side, they're giving this a bit of width early on.
3, release, stand.
3 tackles gone. Henderson brings them down the short side. Not for long though.
Move, hands out. Johnny Campbell, hands.
Russo now. Russo quickly to the ground and looking to play the ball quickly. That's the 5th tackle. Thorman's inside his 40. He's gone for the 40-20, and that one's going to skip away. Just look at the way that goes. And the Batley players having to come back a long way to get back for the tap on the 20. They're still coming back.
Neil
And Dale, there's a problem, I think, for Dale Cardoza. He's just signalling to the bench on this near side, out of shot at the moment.
1, move, hold.
Cardoza, I think, is struggling.
Go. TC too early.
And another offside penalty against Gateshead.
And that's little disciplines in the game. Again, Mennell deciding to tap it. The wind's too strong, so they're not trying to go for field position. They're just trying to chew that yardage up and get up the top end of the pitch.
22, stay out.
Here's McGilvray, this young, exciting winger they've loaned from Huddersfield Giants. Cousin of Leroy Cudjoe.
Go.
Plays that ball. And again, they're attacking that Thunder right-hand flank.
Hold. Go.
3 tackles gone. Here is Cardoza. Well, he seems to be okay.
4, move. Go.
Tui pops the ball up to Jack Watson. And Watson, legs driving, takes him up to the Gateshead Thunder 20. On the last, it needs to be a good kick from Mennell. Mennell will stab that one in. Oh, well fielded. It was knocked down.
Ball that way. Ball went that way, Andy. Knock on.
And it's going to be, I think, Batley head and feet, is it?
Michael Knowles wins the award for the biggest bluff award. He certainly waited for the whistle.
10 metres.
Just exactly what you're supposed to do. Play to the whistle. He had a stab at it. Referee judged it was a knock-on.
Wait. Matt Barlow, 2 hands.
But I was quite impressed with the defensive efforts from Batley. When they had Gateshead pinned on their own line, they were good line speed and tried to restrict them as much as they could.
Here's Danny Moore now. Moore trying to go on the outside. He bounces off one. He's lost that ball. And another penalty goes against Gateshead. Well, Dave Merrick is caning Gateshead Thunder so far here. Although it's Gateshead who leads by virtue of the 1 penalty that they kicked. So Batley, can they capitalise on this glut of possession they've had at the moment? It's with Luke Stenchen. Stenchen gets the ball away. Play on, says the referee. He wasn't tackled. So Mennell loops a pass out to Jack Watson, and Watson, strong tackle there. Again, they come down the short side. It's with Mark Tui. Tui now with Watson. Watson is tackled. 3 tackles gone. Gateshead really under the cosh here.
18, give it a yard.
Mennell fires the pass up for Priest, and that one's gone forward. It won't count. The crowd celebrates. The crowd on the Roy Powell terrace celebrates. The crowd on the Ron Earnshaw terrace celebrate, but it was a forward pass.
A fantastic run, great line with pace, power from Priest, and he gets an offload away. I'm not sure which patch was judged to be forward. Was it the one to Priest or the one from Priest? But certainly encouraging start from the Batley Bulldogs.
Gateshead in possession then, a let-off for them. That forward pass.
2, move, hands out. Wait, go. Nathan,
Well,
no hands in.
They've withstood all that pressure of the Thunder, and they'll be relieved about that. And Chris Hood saying that this life in the Championship has been a rude awakening for them. They really ruled the roost in the second division last season, winning promotion, losing just 3 games, but this is a step up, and they've found it tough. They've scored plenty of points, a couple of 40 odds, but they've also leaked some points as well. Campbell now fields that ball, he'll run it back. Henderson there to make the tackle for his Thunder side.
And they've got, Bill, the majority of the players that come up that won that National League last year and then into the Championship this year, they won 19 games, so the confidence is there. They played well together as a team, and they've just got to get up to the right speed. Batley are used to this. There's seasoned pros in this side, and it's going to be a good contest for the last 68 minutes.
John Gallagher playing that ball, and now it's with big Craig Potter.
No hands in, play the ball.
Gallagher now. Stenchen. Luke Stenchen, one of several former Leeds Academy players. Won Academy Grand Finals with them. Moore now, he was Wigan Academy way back. That looked forward. McGilvery's gone without it anyway. Thunder have it back. Good weaving run from Robin Pears. Pears plays the ball. Then they go down the short side with Kevin Neighbour. 2 tackles gone. Neighbour managing to stay in the field of play. Michael Knowles now. Rousseau. Driven back though in the tackle.
That's where Batley have been better the first 30 minutes. They're turning the Gateshead players on the Batley, which means that it takes an extra second to get up off the mark. But here go Gateshead.
And here's Dylan Nash, and Nash has got the ball away to Sanderson. Sanderson steps inside, but the Batley players come across to cover the danger man Stuart Sanderson, and Nash will try himself. And the referee was waiting there. Good play from Dave Merrick. They weren't square. He waited to see if there was to be any advantage. There was none, so Gateshead get the penalty.
Stuart Sanderson has scored so many tries, but he's outside that man, Dylan Nash. Gary Thornton will be very upset with the penalty there that Batley have conceded. And Gateshead now in the right part of the pitch where they can score points.
Here's big Jason Payne. But Payne is driven back in the tackle. Good work from Batley there. Henderson now. Rousseau now will take it up, and then Rousseau spreads it out wide. Then they come back into the middle of the field. They're using the big men straight up the park. Walker it was. Johnny Walker, another of their lone players. On lovely offload, keeps the ball alive for Gateshead, but again, Batley doing the tackling. McGilvray it was that time. Henderson, Thorman now. Thorman for Rousseau. Rousseau had to stretch behind to pick that one up. Clark, Dylan Nash. Nash is just short of the try line, is he?
Hang on a minute.
It's going to be, I think, first call for the video ref, Jamie Leahy.
It's a double movement.
Was there a double movement from Dylan Nash there? I suspect there probably was.
John Campbell, for a winger, comes up with a great impact here. Actually knocks Nash over, who lands on the floor. It's whether the referee or the video referee, Jamie Leahy, judges the tackle to be complete when he hits the floor. Good impact from a winger, though. It's not often you see that, Tez.
Well, Dylan Nash waiting for the decision from the video ref. He doesn't look that convincing either. Normally a body language from a player will tell you, but Dylan Nash, I don't think is convinced he's scored that try either. The
yeah, I've got you.
Young man from Toowoomba. who was a big success for Gateshead Thunder last season. Dave Merrick waiting the decision.
No try, knock on, so scrum down.
It was a knock-on in actual fact, wasn't a double movement.
That's great work from John Campbell. Many times we see the extra effort. You just look at that there. Put the impact in. Jolted that ball loose.
If he'd held on to it, because the tackle wasn't completed, was it?
It's very hard, isn't it, though, when the line's there, to have that temptation.
Out.
I thought Campbell, with his hand on his, almost his backside, had done enough, but nevertheless, Batley live again.
One, move.
Well, it's Campbell again who's come across the field. He's now in action on that opposite wing, and then his fellow wingman McGilvray picks the ball up.
Move. Oh. Go. That's good.
Now Danny Morn.
3, move. Wait.
And you can hear the call from Gate to get off the line, dominate them. There's good movement, isn't there, from the Batley side?
And I'll tell you what,
pushing forward in numbers.
He's had a good opening 15 minutes, number 35 in your screen, Jack Watson.
Yeah, a local amateur product, Jack Watson.
10 metres. Hold. Go.
Fifth tackle, and Mennell will hoist this kick into the wind. Neighbour collects that one, and Gateshead have the ball back.
The chase wasn't good enough, really. It was a decent kick. Kevin Neighbour, one of the original Gateshead players.
Well, Gateshead with an early problem, I think. Let's hear from Ben Pro on the sidelines.
That's right, Bill. During that video referee try for Dylan Nash, or the no try, I should say, Robin Pearce getting some running repairs on a gash above his eye.
Knowles on the charge here. Sorry, Ben, but Gateshead have made the break, and Michael Knowles takes him up to the 40-metre line. A great run from the second rower. Priest struggling to hold him down. And they've got an opportunity here. Oh, Nash has got the ball back. And is it back to 6?
Move!
I thought that Dave Merrick was looking to see whether that ball had come loose there, but anyway, here come the Thunder again with Payne. Good tackle on Payne. If Batley can survive this, it'll be good work. Thorman fires the pass out, and this time Nash will get the try.
Okay.
And Dylan Nash, at the third time of asking, really, it opened up for him there, and Batley was stretched from right to left. They brought it back, the long pass from Thorman, and Dylan Nash gets his 5th try of the season. Well, denied a moment ago by that video ref decision, but that one was as clear as daylight.
Dylan Nash has got to put this down to Michael Knowles. He's just hit a gap. He's run hard, he's run strong, he's not panicked. There was nobody in support with him, so he knows he's got to get up and play that ball as quick as they can. And all they do is play with great width, players flooding forward in numbers, and Dylan Nash, the size of the guy, normally the provider for Stuart Sanderson, but he took that try well himself.
As you can see, his other tries have come against the Sheffield Eagles in one batch, but getting the first try of the night here. And Gateshead will be pleased about that, because they've taken some pressure on their own try line up the other end of the field. Then they've come down and grabbed their opportunity.
Time's off anyway, time's off.
Knowles now, with the wind at his back.
Might need somebody to hold it.
And he dispenses with the scrum cap for his goal-kicking duties. Entrusts that to his water carrier. And we'll just look to hang this one on the wind, probably. Drifted in. Won't need an awful lot of welly. He's landed that one, and you can see as that one sails away out of the ground, off towards Dewsbury. And Gateshead ahead by 8 points to 0 here at Batley. Chris Hood will be pleased with that.
It will be, and the defence is what led to that try. They've defended the try line really, really well, and they've come up with that break. Michael Knowles hitting that gap, and Dylan Nash scoring this try.
Neil Thorman's pass selection is superb. He's not an X's and an O's type of player. He's just all instinct. Typical Thorman trait. Long ball, nice pass selection. Great stuff.
And that kick hanging, that restart hanging in the wind and very nearly coming back into Batley's hands. Well, we were hearing about the Gateshead Thunder problems. Let's rejoin Ben.
That's right, Bill. As Dylan Nash attacked down the Gateshead left-hand side, some problems for Robin Pearce on the right-hand side. It's an eye injury. He got some more treatment as the Gateshead side celebrated that try. As you can see, the eye, there is the problem. They're saying that could require stitches, but they're not going to treat him at this stage. As for Dale Cardoza on the Batley side, he had a shoulder problem, but it's a fairly minor one. They're confident he can continue.
Henderson on the charge, finding a gap in the Batley defence. That's the 5th tackle, though. Now then, needs to be a good kick.
Kick it clear. Okay.
Brannigan hoists that one, and it's Campbell underneath it. Took that one well. A good chase, though. And Stuart Sanderson leading the way. Thorman in there as well with the tackle.
Good take from John Campbell there. He had a bit of pressure coming from the Gateshead players. Just watch him, never takes his eyes off the ball. He's prepared to lose a yard, but he knows he must catch that ball.
Well, Cardoza down again for a moment there. And Batley struggling to work their way up the field here.
Go. All right, bye.
Mennell. Nice step from Paul Mennell. And still going, Paul Mennell, the number 7. That's the 5th tackle. It'll be John Gallagher who'll boot this ball upfield, but it's straight into the arms of Sanderson, and Sanderson has Campbell closing down on him. Stuart Sanderson, a Cumbrian. Looks a very popular player with the Gateshead Thunder supporters.
Paul Mennell, the Batley number 7, he's the captain tonight. You've seen him run a lot with the ball. He realises that they're going uphill, and it's a difficult job to kick this ball. You wait till they're playing down in the second half. His kicking game will really come to the fore.
Knowles. And good defence that time. Danny Morn first in with the tackle. Down the right-hand side. It's with Brannigan. That's the 5th tackle. And Michael Knowles doing the kicking and hoisting that one, and Campbell takes it and does well there.
Another confident take from that young winger, and look at his urgency here.
Well, it's an impressive... maybe that wasn't so impressive. Well, they get a penalty.
Well, he was relieved then. I thought that ball and that pass went forward for a second, but great stuff from the winger. Love to see them nice and busy.
They were offside at that restart.
But it was forward.
It was.
Cart the pigskin up, lad.
Well, until then, he'd done well, Campbell, because taking that kick can't have been easy, the way this wind is blowing. So Batley, with the penalty, allowing them maybe to work their way upfield. Test the Gateshead defence once again. It's a while since these two sides met. That was back in 2002. Batley were convincing winners. They've been convincing winners, really, of all 4 previous games between the two sides.
Couple of real accurate passes then, giving them some width, putting them in that left channel, playing up the short side.
Gateshead's defence has certainly tightened up from their last performance, beaten by Barrow in their last game. Sanderson coolly collects that ball, then brings it back across the field, turns right, turns left, straightens up, crawls a bit, still going.
Batley are trying to get the ball behind Gateshead because they are a very, very big side, and any big side struggle to get back, and they've got to challenge them to bring that ball back. Defence is an attitude, and Batley have really got to up their defence at the minute.
Henderson, a change of direction from the Torquay-born hooker. Torquay-born, raised in Australia, Scottish international. A fact he's very proud of, Michael Knowles. Knowles struggling to get to his feet.
Get on with it.
Get on with it, says the referee. So Henderson does. That's the 5th tackle. It's the kick like this time. Well, they're running it, in fact. And Russo has done well there, still keeping it alive. Thorman shapes to kick, gets the pass away to Clark. It was round the shoulder, said the referee.
That was
lucky. The turnover.
They had numbers out there. Dylan Nash was out there. If Clark could have got that ball away. But there's a lot more movement from this Gateshead side. They've got the confidence since they've scored that try, and they really are flooding forward in numbers, taking a lot of pressure off the man who's carrying the ball up.
It was Reece Clark who was stopped.
It was a lovely little piece of skill again from Neil Thorman. Really skillful player, this lad. He's shaped to kick, just put a nice pass in.
Neil Thorman, well, apart from a brief spell with York, Neil Thorman has stayed in the northeast. Brothers Paul and Chris, of course, elsewhere. Paul down with the London Scholars. Chris making an impression with Hull FC now. But it's Neil Thorman making the impression here.
Mrs. Thorman, a very dominant figure at Gateshead as well.
Phyllis, oh yes.
He puts a lot of time and effort into the club, and good on him.
Kevin Neighbour, another loyal servant to this Gateshead Thunder side. And he felt that.
I think I'm watching for the first time, Bill. Two wingers that can actually
Just going to
tackle.
say that. They're very dominant, aren't they, in defence?
Most of them are just muscular touch judges for me, but some great shots from both wingers.
Gateshead coming down the hill. They lead by 8 points to 0 as again they get the ball wide to Dylan Nash. Nash is a very strong figure. And Merrick has penalised Batley for lifting Dylan Nash in the tackle.
Batley plays judged to be too dominant in that defence because they actually got underneath the ball. Seen Cardoza pick him up.
Well, I'm not sure about
There
that.
he goes. That's what he picks one. That's what the penalty's for. The rules there. You cannot pick the 2 feet up off the floor and start dominating them and pushing them back.
So the penalty brings Gateshead Thunder inside the Batley 40. But Chris Parker,
As opposed to that was just one leg lifted up.
Parker takes the ball forward. Now it's with Ryan McBride. McBride plays the ball. Henderson, darting run from the hooker. 3 tackles gone, and they're right in front of those posts. Thorman fires the pass out. Brannigan, a little step and a dive and a try. And Luke Brannigan, who came here from Lesignan in France, but has got NRL experience, gets the second try. And the coach, well, delighted with this start to the game. And Luke Brannigan increases the Gateshead Thunder lead here at Batley.
It just goes to show about discipline. You must be disciplined, especially when the wind's against you. Here's where the penalty you get. The Gateshead team get the ball, they pass it, they play him with width. Thorman, a real good ball. Brannigan takes the ball to the line. And that's just a clever play. They have so many plays, he's got options inside, outside. It holds them defenders up and it just gives him enough time to dive over that try line. A very confident 25 minutes play by this Gateshead side. They've really took the game to the Batley side.
Luke Brannigan getting his first try of the season, played for Cronulla and for St George Illawarra. A very experienced player, 27 years of age. He actually holds a Maltese passport, which is handy in this day and age with UK border people breathing down the necks of rugby league players. Knowles has thumped that one between the uprights. And Gateshead ahead now by 14 points to 0.
It's a superb show and go from Brannigan, but when we watch the replay, Danny Morn's eyes are only looking to the outside player, so he makes it a really simple option for Brannigan. Just watch this play here. Danny Morn hips out towards the sideline. He's no chance of making that tackle, sorry.
Good kick. Let's have them low, John.
So Batley bit of work to do. Remember, Gateshead are playing down the hill. They've got this strong wind at their backs.
Move! Ash, hold.
And as Barry well knows, that's a difficult proposition when you're playing into the wind up the hill here. Way back in the mists of time. Your first professional game was here, wasn't it? It was a friendly.
It was a friendly for Oldham against Dewsbury when Dewsbury and Batley shared this ground, and I actually scored a try. It was a glorious day, beautiful sunshine.
It was a glorious day because you scored a try.
It was glorious sunshine, if you'll let me finish my sentence.
Certainly chilly evening here at Mount Pleasant as Gateshead Thunder in possession, hoist the kick. Brannigan, the try scorer, puts Priest under pressure, and Ian Priest did that well. Then he maybe puts young Campbell under a bit of pressure there.
Ian Priest was good then, I'll tell you. He's backpedaling, trying to catch a ball that's up in the air, up in the darkness. He did really well. Just look at this. Not many players in rugby league, although I don't think his winger's going to thank him for that. Medicine Hospital pass, sorry.
Former Dewsbury man Ian Priest.
Do you know what? The back three will be very important for Batley come the second half because the kick returns from Priest, from Campbell and from McGilvray have been very strong. So when the wind's not against them and they're in the right part of the field position, I think they'll do very well in the second half.
Mennell's kick, and that only just gets over the halfway line, and they come tearing back to the Gateshead Thunder. And that was a high tackle. And that'll be another penalty to Gateshead Thunder.
Yeah, no dramas with that. That was high.
No pens, boys.
But Robin Pearce hit that ball really hard, went through the gap, and Ian Priest, there was only one way he could stop him, Ian Priest thought, and that was high on that occasion.
Go.
And that was a
He's
knock
not
on.
playing that properly.
No way.
Oh dear, and Gateshead have blown a good opportunity there. It was Chris Parker who just fumbled that ball as he went to play it.
There should be no complaints here. Got that teddy bear grip as I talk about. Hasn't got his thumb round the ball, so he can't control it. There you go.
Get it in.
Simple knock on.
And little things like that can cost you points.
Oh. Dale on the man.
Now then, can Batley find a way through this Gateshead defence? It's been pretty impressive, Gateshead defence so far. Defended their line well the last time they were under pressure. Cardoza has got over that early knock, gets the ball away, and here's big John Simpson now.
And they'll need a big impact from John Simpson because the Gateshead forwards are starting to get on top of the Batley forwards.
But I think what Gary Thornton's done is realised that they're playing up the hill, not to waste too much of Big John's gas.
Tootle did well to get the ball away there to Danny Morn, and Morn is tackled just inside his own half. 4 tackles gone.
He made contact.
And the penalty goes against Batley. Obstruction, I think it was.
It's Tootle that the offence was
Obstruction.
charged to. He's coming through on a ball that went behind him to a player, and he made contact with the Gateshead defender. Here we'll see it. Oh, sorry, it's not Tootle. Jack Watson.
Wait.
Well, both coaches will be annoyed now because Gateshead's Chris Hood annoyed at that clumsy play the ball from Chris Parker a moment ago, and then the clumsy penalty conceded by Batley will have upset Gary Thornton, but it's Gateshead who have the ball back, and it's Parker. And you can bet your bottom dollar that he'll be holding tight to this ball this time as he plays it. Here's Thorman now. Thorman delays the pass. It's well picked up by Dylan Nash there. Nash always trying to offload it. Couldn't do so. Has to play the ball. Sanderson goes himself. Nice little step from Stuart Sanderson across the field. Gets the pass away.
4 move. 2 feet. Hold. Hold. Go.
Henderson. Ball out wide. Great hands. Pears is in. It was forward. The pass was forward. Pears thought he was in there.
That was
Great handling.
It was a sleek pass, wasn't it? The winger coming, but McAlpine coming up with a nice little slick pass. Unfortunately, he was forward. And look at that for quick hands.
I'm not sure.
Robin Pears just overrunning it on that occasion.
Whoa, get near. Get in.
That's skillful play, that by Ben McAlpine. I'd be thinking now, Barry, that Gary Thornton needs a bit of impact, doesn't he? He needs to send somebody on. And I think Ash Lindsay's that guy that could spark something up in and around the ruck to try and get at these big lads from Gateshead.
He's just passed the ball, Ash Lindsay, but I think what Gary Thornton will realise that this pitch and this ground, more than any ground in the league, is definitely a game of 2 hours. When you're playing uphill, you've got to play low-risk football. There you see Johnny Gallagher taking the ball up, receives a high tackle, but it's about controlling that difficult period of going up the hill. They gave away 14 points, but on the flip side of that, I think they're confident when they're coming down the hill with a good kicking game and some good, strong, hard running, they can bring those points back.
Here's Lindsay. Will that pass play on, says the referee. Didn't go forward. And here they go again with Lindsay. Well, he sparked them up a bit. Plays the ball, and the Batley supporters are sparked up a little bit. Here's Watson now. First time they've been in Gateshead territory for quite some time, the Batley Bulldogs. Can they capitalise on this? The kick comes through, and Gateshead have it back. Snapped up by Knowles there.
Ash Lindsay, that bit of spark around the ruck, and that's where they want. The big guys want your little outside backs, your half backs, getting you them quick play the balls. They normally say it's your forwards job, but imagine people like Simpson coming onto that ball in this sort of territory.
It was Henderson, in fact, who gathered the kick. There it is, as that ball bounces up.
Shoulder. 4 move. David.
So Gateshead looking for a 40-20. Well, they didn't get hold of that one, and it's Campbell who... Oh, that ball went backwards.
Facing his own try line, he's just fumbled it, but a great return of the ball. Two very good wingers on show here tonight from Batley. Very impressed with them.
Here's the other one, Jermaine McGilvray, and he's quite a character, this lad. As I said, he's related to Leroy Cudjoe, and here he goes, and McGilvray showing the pace. McGilvray with the try.
Awesome.
Well, I said he was a character, and he's a recent newcomer to the game, Jermaine McGilvray. Played a lot of soccer, in fact, before being persuaded to come along and have a go with the Giants. The Giants have loaned him to Batley, and he's got Batley's first try of the game.
What a very good athlete. And John Campbell, Barry said about the wingers, they've been played really well. They're strong in attack, they're strong in collision in defence. And just look at that. Push through, keeps pumping his legs, beats the man, just takes on the fullback, Kevin Neighbour, and he just has the strength to go over. But fantastic play, and this has all come about from defence. The Batley side really defending strong. The wingers caught the ball on the 40 and they're straight into attack zone. McGilvray pumping his legs, gets through, has a look up for support. There's nobody there. He's got all the strength and the speed to get over the white line and get this Batley team and Gary Thornton back into the game.
That's more like it, says the coach, as Jermaine McGilvray gets his 4th try of the season. And as you can see, he was instrumental in that victory at Lee last weekend when they won 34-28, got a couple of tries there, and he's lifted the Batley spirits here with that one. Now then, George Flanagan, former Bradford Bulls Academy player, with this conversion attempt to close the gap. But a difficult one into the wind, and didn't have the legs. But McGilvray had the legs. 14-4 the scoreline, the Thunder ahead.
That man in your picture just had great attitude, got hold of the ball. You do not have the right to tackle me. Anybody that gets near him shrugs them off, recognises the exact point where he can see that try line and goes for it. Superb athleticism.
Stay on. Let's go, Neil. Good line.
Long scudding restart from Gateshead Thunder from Neil Thorman. And here's John Simpson and barges into Russo. Knowles making the tackle. Watson now. Batley look as though they've stepped it up a bit.
It's amazing what a try does, isn't it, Bill? Both forwards running really hard, making good yardage.
And Nathan Armitage puts the ball down.
Don't look at the defence, concentrate on catching that ball. Put your hands up so you can see the ball coming. Get the grip. He's just had a little look up, saw Knowles in front of him, and putting his Batley side under all kinds of pressure now. 30 yards out for Gateshead.
Here they are with Dylan Nash. Nash equally at home in the second row. Plays the ball. Can they capitalise on this now? Knowles stumbles as he's tackled. 2 tackles gone. Henderson. Brannigan. Ball back on the inside to Parker. Beg your pardon, it's Ryan McBride who played the ball. 4 tackles gone now, and Gateshead right on that try line, but still short of the try line. It was McBride again on the last. Gets to his feet very slowly to play that ball. Russo will try himself, pops the ball over the top, and it's still alive.
Back to 1.
Not sure he has. Yes, it is now. It's back to 1, and Parker takes the tackle. There was a Batley hand in there as Russo tried to get the ball over the top. Henderson now. Henderson to Thorman. Thorman to Nash, and Nash will get a second. Eventually puts the ball down. And Dylan Nash gets the second try of the game, and Batley are punished for the error. They dropped the ball, and they came close on a couple of occasions. More instructions from the sleepless coach. Dylan Nash following his instructions, taking his try tally to the season to 6.
Another set of 6. Here's where the other set of 6 is given to the Gateshead side. It goes back to 0, they keep the ball alive. And I say they don't panic, they've just played some good rugby. Andrew Henderson and this Dylan Nash, he's big, he's strong. Dale Cardoza has got to make a better effort to get the big guy down. You can't stick your head down when you're defending, you've got to look up, you've got to see the man in front of you, and you've got to come up with that big tackle. And that was just a weak effort on that occasion from Dale Cardoza.
And Nash, well, he tiptoed round the whitewash there just to get a few extra yards closer to the posts for Michael Knowles, his goal kicker. Now Knowles kicked one from just about this same spot earlier on. Can he land this one? Again, he's hung it in the wind, and again it's curved beautifully between those posts. He's judging it to perfection. So a Gateshead at the moment ahead by 20 points to 4. Looking for their first win of the season. Well, they're ahead, and this is what has led to the Batley downfall on this occasion, that knock-on.
The mistake, and then the Gateshead players, they're just too big and strong. They can attack when they get down here. It's going to be interesting, Bill, in this second half, if they can cope with the pressure, if they can cope with the win, because 16 points against a team that's playing at home, that knows this pitch, they know how to kick the ball. It's going to be interesting to see how Gateshead do in the second half. But with runs like that, they're getting on top. They're getting on top in the middle of the park, and that's where the game is won.
First half coming to a close here, and a satisfactory first half for this Gateshead Thunder side. Points on the board, confidence boosted, looking for their first win of the season as the half-time hooter sounds. Henderson in possession, and they'll head back to the dressing rooms, up the hill. And Gateshead in good spirits. Gary Thornton with a bit of work to do with his side. Well, they have been in mixed form this season, Batley.